Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a Feral Druid PvP guide for 9.2. This has been requested by quite a few people, so let's go ahead and get this started. Before I get into the whole talents thing, I just want to talk about the Covenants real quick. If you've been around my channel or been around all expansion, nothing has really changed much. The three Covenants that are playable right now are Necrolord, Night Fae, and Bastion. Whatever playstyle is up to you. Bastion and Night Fae are the big burst bite playstyle, so if you're into that, you can play those. Night Fae is probably better than Bastion. Everybody's playing it. The Legendary is actually going to be insane this patch because you get a free Covenant Legendary and you can pick any other Legendary you want. So we're probably gonna see a lot of Night Fae Feral Druids. I've already been seeing every Feral Druid Night Fae lately. And if you're into the if you're into the consistent, more survivability playstyle, then Necrolord will be for you. I personally prefer Necrolord because, like I said, the survivability is nice. It's got good consistent damage. It's got decent bursts. It's not better than Night Fae or Bastion because the bursts for those other two are insane, especially with the Legendaries coming out soon if they're not already out. And yeah, it's just dependent on your playstyle. If you want to go big burst, build, bite playstyle, then either Night Fae or Bastion. If you want to go good, consistent bleed playstyle with good survivability, Necrolord. So it all depends on you. For me personally, I am Necrolord, so this is going to be kind of like a Necrolord guide. Since I don't really play Night Fae or Bastion anymore, I haven't played it in quite some time, you'll have to probably find something else for those. But for me, this is Necrolord playstyle, but Night Fae can work as well. Now, let's go ahead and go over the talents. First row, if you're either Bastion or Night Fae, Sabretooth. If you're not and you're Necrolord, Lunar Inspiration, because you will be playing a bleed dot type of playstyle. So, Moonfire is going to be a dot, and you can kite up. If you've been around my channel, you guys know I love to kite people with Moonfire. It builds up combo points. Say you're trying to kite evasion, die by the sword, you're trying to run away, and you can't hit them because evasion or die by the sword is up. But you can Moonfire him, get your combo points up, and then you can either, one, quickly leap behind him and spam your rip button and get a rip on him and get a free either root or regrowth off. And then, or the other way around, because you were kiting him so much with Moonfire, and by the time his evasion or die by the sword is down, then he can go in and get either a stun or another rip on it if you need to get another bleed on it. So, yeah, that's my pretty much speech on why I love Lunar Inspiration as Necrolord. But once again, Lunar Inspiration for Necrolord, Sabretooth for Night Fae or Bastion. Next row, Wild Charge. That's all there is to it. Third row, Restoration Infinity or Guardian Infinity. I go Restoration Infinity for solo and Battlegrounds. Guardian Infinity I've been using for Rated Arena. I'm currently up to 1,943, which may not be high for some people. It depends on who you ask, but that's currently what I'm at. I usually use Guardian Infinity against like Rogue, Mage, or Holy Priest, which is pretty much every game. I've been using Incapitating Roar to remove the stupid annoying Holy Ward, and then I would immediately get a stun, or my partner would stun him and we would blow up the DPS, and it's been working pretty well. So that's just a neat little trick I've been picking up on. Maybe a lot of people know, but it seems to work pretty well. I run with a Ret Paladin for anybody who wants to know. But yeah, I've been doing that strat for Holy Priests and it's working out pretty well. So yeah, it just depends on what you're doing, but I prefer Restoration Infinity for solo stuff. Guardian Infinity is good for like Rated Arena. Fourth row, Mighty Bash. Fifth row, I've seen everybody use different talents, but I go with Soul of the Forest because the energy coming back and dealing increased damage is really nice. Next row, the other two just go with Brutal Slash. It's less energy, gives combo points. It's really nice, that's all there is to it. Final row, Blood Talons or Feral Frenzy. I've seen some people use Blood Talons. I saw them only adding that, but I personally hate Blood Talons. I just don't like it. I think most people use it for the bite playstyle, it just feels really uncomfortable to use to me, so I prefer Feral Frenzy, especially as Necrolord, because like I said, your main damage is bleeds, and Feral Frenzy is your massive burst for Necrolord. If you're not using Feral Frenzy as Necrolord, you probably won't be doing huge amounts of damage, so Feral Frenzy is your 45-second burst cooldown. And that's pretty much it for the talents. What you're seeing now is pretty much what I always run, other than I switch out Guardian Infinity for every once in a while for rated stuff. Now for honor talents. The 3 you're seeing right now is what I also run a good majority of the time. Leader of the Pack you will always want, no matter what. The other 2 you can switch out for, depending on what you face. If you're not facing melee, obviously you won't be needing Thorns, so you can switch it out for what I like to switch it out for. Is Strength of the Wild that I heard something, sorry. Strength of the Wild, and combining it with Guardian Infinity is really good for the extra big, huge flesh craft. Another good talent is Savage Momentum. You can switch it out for that as well, and same for Ferocious Wound. Wicked Claws, if you have somebody with a Mortal Strike, you don't need to use this, so that's why I said you can switch it out. Same for Thorns, and you can either switch it out for Savage Momentum, Strength of the Wild, Ferocious Wound. High Winds is kind of decent as well, but it just, I don't really go for it compared to the other choices here. So that's my PvP honor talent choices. So I would go either Thorns, Wicked Claws, Leader of the Pack, Savage Momentum, Strength of the Wild, or Ferocious Wound. So that's the 6 choices. The rest I just don't feel like are really worth it, in my opinion. Now let's go over stats. Stats is going to depend on your Covenant choices. If you're Necrolord, Versatility, Mastery, Haste, then Crit. One more time, Versatility, Mastery, Haste, Crit. If you're Night Fae or Bastion, Versatility, Mastery, Crit, Haste. Night Fae, Bastion, Versatility, Mastery, Haste, Crit. And that is pretty much the stats for your Covenant. Now, for Legendary. Unfortunately, like I said, I no longer play Night Fae or Bastion, so I can't really help. You're going to have to experiment with different Legendaries for that. But for Necrolord, Drought still remains the best. But unfortunately, bad news is our Covenant Legendary we get stuck with sucks, which is probably why a good majority are going Night Fae, because the Covenant Legendary for Night Fae are insane. The Feral Druids already use it, so they get a free Legendary with different choice, which I can imagine is going to make them even more strong. So, yeah, unfortunately, Necrolords makes Adaptive Swarm split targets, and unfortunately counters Drought. So, it's still the best. Some people are thinking about using Circle of Life and Death instead of Drought, which I don't think is really worth it, in my opinion. Just because the bleeds are just, it's too much to give up. You need the bleed damage for consistent damage. But yeah. On the positive side, for our double Legendary, you can choose whatever stats you want if you make it, so I'm probably going to obviously go on my Verse and Mastery. So, that's the positive thing. You can pick whatever gear piece you want, and you can put whatever stats on it you want. Maybe like getting another ring, so you could put it in a versatility socket. So, but other than that, the Covenant Legendary sucks. So, that's the unfortunate news, and that's my thoughts on the Legendaries. Unfortunately, like I said, I can't help if you're Night Fae or Bastion. Just experiment with stuff. Some people are thinking about using Frenzy Band or Fearful Symmetry. Some people are even thinking about using the Barkskin Legendary. I can't remember where it is. There's like a Barkskin Legendary for Guardian, I believe, and if you go Bear Form, you use Barkskin, you get Frenzied Regen, and it reduces the cooldown of Barkskin, I believe, as well. So, yeah, it just, there's going to be so much experimenting with the double Legendary, so just depends on what you want. But that's my thoughts on Necrolord Legendaries. Now let's go over macros, because a lot of people ask me about my macros all the time. Here's the Vortex macro. If you want to just pause it and just copy it, feel free to do so. It just makes your Vortex wherever you place your mouse on the screen, and it makes it easier instead of just having to click it and all that stuff. Cyclone macro, all you have to do is put your target on set focus, and I won't target it. Push my macro, and your Cyclone because it's on set focus. That's simple as that. So, fortunately it's immune, but yeah, you guys pretty much get the point. My burst macro, I get this asked probably more than anything else. What are my burst macro? It's literally really easy. Just put macro, this goes for any class. Macro like Vendetta and your Trinket, or Berserk and your Trinket, or Potion. So, yeah, this is my burst macro. I'm not playing Bastion, but I had it in my macro form when I did it a long time ago. Salt Waters if you use it. PvP Trinket if you use it. It's simple as that. Just add whatever you have. If you don't have any trinkets, you're not using potions, then you don't need a burst macro. So, and that's literally it for my macros. Cyclone, burst, vortex, and that's it. Last but not least is conduits. This will depend on your covenants, but so I can't really show you guys Night Fae and Bastion, unfortunately, but I can show you Necrolord. Necrolord, you just want to go left, get Evolve Swarm, and then go ooze this frictionless coating. Then you gotta go Well-Horned Instincts, because it's nice having that frenzied regen for free. Then Kevin's Keyring into Carbonous Instinct for the extra Tiger's Fury bonus damage. And then Resolve for the extra regrowth and frenzied healing, because you're going to want more survivability. Necrolord survivabilities are good. This will just make it even better. Ultimate form, Taste for Blood. Ferocious Bite is not really, you're not going to be using this a whole lot, but you're going to be playing a bleed playstyle, so when you can get the occasional 1 or 2 Ferocious Bites in, it'll just do more damage. But yeah, your Ferocious Bite isn't really going to be your huge source of damage. The bleeds will. And then you're going to want to go Trail on the left, and this one you can use whatever you want. You can either use Tough as Bark for the bark skin lower cooldown, or Condensed Animosphere if you want to do that, or you can use Vigor. I went with Vigor because that way I can get more Fleshcraft Shield, but like I said, it's not absolutely necessary. This one you can actually switch out if you really, really want to. And then obviously Kevin's Oozling is the final one. If you're Night Fae, you can switch out a few different ones. Like, for example, Tireless Pursuit is going to be one of the ones you could be using for Fitness Conduit. Everything else is, I feel like, still kind of similar to Night Fae and stuff, which, except you won't be using the Evolve Swarm, but it'll switch off with the Convoke. So, everything else, this is what I would use as Night Fae, other than you'll be able to put in Tireless Pursuit. So, that's pretty much it for conduits. I think I covered everything except for the rotation. So just as a I'll show you guys real quick my opener rotation. Tiger's Fury, Rake, Adaptive Swarm, Feral Frenzy, Rip, Moonfire, Thrash, Brutal Slash, Brutal Slash, Brutal Slash, and Ferocious Bite. Obviously make sure you use Regrowth before you waste another thing, Predatory Swiftness. But that's pretty much how I open up in my rotation. You can add Berserk after you use your Ferocious Bite. I mean, not Ferocious Bite. You can use Berserk after you use your Tiger's Fury, Rake, Adaptive Swarm, Feral Frenzy, and Rip, and then pop Berserk. And that way you can get easier time with combo points. But yeah, so hopefully that helps you guys out. That's pretty much what I do for PvP. Hopefully this helps you guys out. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section. I think I covered up everything. Oh, I forgot. There's actually one more thing. This patch that they added. I covered up double legendaries, but I forgot about tier sets. Tier sets. For those that don't know and didn't see, I did try out the tier sets in the PTR, and it got nerfed pretty hard, like a week or two after that. And then they recently buffed it again. So I personally have not tried it since then. I don't know how it is right now. Tier sets do have like specific set stats. They don't have versatility on it. Some of the stats on the tier sets even suck for a Necrolord. So I don't know how it is in PvP personally. It might still be strong. It might still be worth it. It's completely up to you. You can get these from PvP somehow. I don't know how yet, but I heard you can. Will I be using this? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. Some classes have insane tier sets, others don't. So, unfortunately, I can't help with the whole tier set department. It was insane. It could still be good right now, but who knows? It's going to be kind of hard giving up the good stats for Feral just for tier sets. So, not to mention the tier sets don't scale up as far as I know. So, compared to the PvP gear. I think that's it now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys later.